What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Christopher from Cars Unlocked. I've been in the Canadian automotive industry for a handful of years, and right now I specialize in sales, helping people that have bad credit or less than perfect credit, and a lot of these folks don't know where to begin. So if your credit score is below 650, today's video is for you. We're going to talk about how you can go about getting a vehicle with challenged credit. To begin, you need to understand what you're trying to accomplish. It's not just about getting a car. You need to understand the whole picture. What we're trying to achieve here is not only getting you a reliable vehicle that will get you from point A to point B, but getting it at a payment you can afford, and finally rebuilding your credit. Those should be your three goals when trying to get a car if you have bad credit. Now that you understand the big picture, here's how this is accomplished. And first things first, you need to know this right away, guys. You need to stay away from those in-house financing dealerships, those buy here, pay here places. Majority of these dealerships, they offer the loans themselves, and they don't really report to the credit bureaus. They're not done through major banks, so they don't help your cause. So if you're thinking of considering going there, I recommend to stay away, and I would certainly stay away from the buy here, pay here places. It's pretty much a free-for-all. They can offer loans on vehicles that are very old because there's no regulations from the banks or anything like that, because they're the ones loaning you the money. So oftentimes they might give you like a 5-year loan on an 08 or an 09 at a somewhat low interest rate, which sounds great at the time, but that 08 and 09 isn't going to last you 5 years. It might last you 1 or 2 years. So a lot of the cars at these places don't outlive the life of the loan. If you do get lucky and you end up going 5 years and making a loan payment at one of these places, you'll have nothing to show for it, because these loans don't report to the credit bureau, and you'll make all those payments for such a long time, and you'll have nothing to show for it when you apply for your next loan. So your credit won't actually improve, which should be our overall long-term goal. So stay away from these buy here, pay here places. Now that that's out of the way, the big thing is here, guys, is be realistic. Maybe come into it with an open mind, okay? Don't walk into a Mercedes dealership trying to get approved on a Mercedes-Benz. Don't say you need a dually diesel pickup truck so that you can do your dump runs. Understand that the bigger the vehicle, the bigger the payment, and the harder it's going to be to get approved. So be realistic in what type of vehicle that you are trying to get. If you're looking for a full-size SUV that can tow your trailer or tow something, the chances of you getting it if you have bad credit are very slim. So be realistic. Start with a cheap small car, SUV, hatchback, or crossover, and that will help you get approved for the load, and you can rebuild your credit. And once your credit's rebuilt, that's when you would make the big move for the expensive vehicle. Once you understand the whole picture and you understand what kind of car you're willing to get, you want to get all your ducks in a row. So when I say this, I mean you want to get your license updated. You want to get your pay stub. You want to make sure you're fully employed. Don't apply for cars if you're unemployed or you're collecting EI or unemployment insurance or welfare. Make sure you are employed. Maybe you're collecting disability from the government. That's okay too. But these banks that deal with these bad credit card loans definitely have certain requirements to get approved. So the one thing is they require a minimum of $2,000 monthly income generally. So make sure that you have that through all your income sources, whether it be through your job, through your disability, through your child tax. You need to be a minimum of over $2,000, and it needs to be verifiable. So that means you'll need to basically prove it. If you tell the bank you make $2,000, they're going to ask you to provide a pay stub or provide your bank statements to show that you actually make $2,000. If you're collecting cash, doing cash jobs like painting houses or things like that on the side, that's not provable income. So make sure you have your provable income. Similar to the income situation, they're also going to want to verify your driver's license and your address. So make sure you have the correct address on your driver's license. Make sure that's up to date. It's very easy to do. You can do it online in Canada here, and you can update your driver's license, especially now with some of the Service Ontarios being closed. It's very easy to update online, so you should have no excuse to show up to the dealership and your address that you live at doesn't match your driver's license. If you don't do this, it's going to become a headache and a waste of time for the bank and a waste of time for the dealer, and it might hinder you getting approved. Last thing is, don't apply for a car if you still have outstanding fines on your license or you don't even have a license. If you have a G1, you should not be applying for any car loans at all. Get your license first and apply for the car loans. Same thing if you have outstanding fines, things like 407 fines, outstanding tickets on your license. That doesn't look good when the dealership goes to put the car in your name and you have outstanding fines. I've seen some really doozy ones, and sometimes it can squash the whole thing. So make sure everything is cleared up, all your ducks are in a row in terms of your income, your driver's license, and your employment. Moving on, another tip that I have is try to come with some equity or money down. What I mean by that is show up to the dealer with maybe your trade-in or a significant down payment. That's certainly going to help your cause, certainly help you get the best approval, certainly going to help you get the lowest interest rate, and your car loan will just be lower at the end of the day. So that's the biggest thing, guys. When I'm negotiating with the banks after I submit an application off and I'm trying to get a customer approved, the first question that I always hear from the bank is, does the customer have money down? And when I say no to that question, they usually rebuttal and say, well, if he has no money down today, what's going to happen in 2 weeks or a month when their first payments are going to come out? It's very hard for me to answer that question and have an excuse as to what's going to happen, because we all know what's going to happen. They're going to bounce on those payments. So if you can show maybe 500 to 1,000, that's good. But generally the best scenario is 20 to 30% of the price of the car. That's great. That's going to help you ensure the best approval. So try to show up with some money down or some equity in forms of a trade-in. And keep in mind, if you have a trade-in that you're still making payments on, you probably don't have equity. 99% of times when people are trading in their car and they still have a loan on that car, the value of the car is less than the amount of the loan. So keep that in mind, guys. Don't think you have equity just because you're trading in a vehicle. If you're still making payments, you have what's called negative equity, and that means that the value of the car is less than the value of the loan. So make sure that you have a car that you're trading in. If you want to have positive equity, make sure you're no longer making payments on it. You also don't want to be applying to a dozen places or bouncing around from dealership to dealership applying for car loans. Getting an inquiry on your credit score doesn't drastically affect your credit, but having and racking up just a list of inquiries from car dealers, it just is not a good look for anybody. So don't apply unless you're serious about getting a vehicle and you're going to pursue the application. You don't know how many online applications I get from people where we check their credit, we submit them off to the banks, we call them a handful of times, and when we finally get a hold of them, they'll say, oh, I was just kind of looking, or I wasn't sure if I'm gonna get a vehicle. That doesn't look good, so make sure that you're serious about getting a vehicle. There's a ton of variables that the banks take into consideration when considering the car loan, so don't expect there to be some magic website where you can put your name and phone number in and you'll instantly get approved. Be prepared to be contacted by the dealership. Be prepared to take action when you apply. Be prepared to follow through with your application, or else it's just not a good look and it doesn't make sense to be doing this multiple times. With that said, you're probably wondering where to apply to. Well, you should be applying to a dealership that has a specific department, a manager or a salesman who specializes in dealing with people with poor credit. Someone like me, I work specifically dealing with people that have less than perfect credit and need help getting approved. And those specific dealers, like myself, have relationships with the banks in which we can get you the best approvals and the lowest interest rates for your loan. So if you're in my area in Ontario or Niagara, do not hesitate to contact me. I'm gonna put my information in the description below. If not, you can simply call around to a couple dealers and ask them if they have like a special finance manager or a special finance department that deals with people that bad credit, because they're gonna know the most efficient ways to get you approved. People in my situation that are in my position, we do this every day. We deal with the banks every day. We talk with them every day. So we have the best tools to get you approved, and all day every day this is what we do. So we invest our full efforts and time into getting you approved, and one of our top priorities is basically getting you approved at the lowest interest rate. So make sure you find the dealer. Majority of the time it's going to be like a franchise dealer, like for example like a Nissan, Ford, or a Chrysler dealership. they're going to have these special departments. The small little used car lots are not going to have these special departments to help you get approved in the most effective way. And the other thing is, when we do this every day, we don't bullshit around and we don't waste time. We make sure we get you approved for the loan first, so we know the car that you're applying for is going to work, and we're not showing you vehicles that right off the bat we know you're not going to qualify for, and then there's no disappointment. We can explain the situation right out of the gate, and if you don't like it, you can walk away. So make sure you're applying at the right dealer. Like I said, if you're in my area, do not hesitate to contact me and I can help you get approved for a car loan. So there you have it, guys. If you have poor credit, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you learned something today. Subscribe to my channel for more car buying tips and comment any questions that you have. Make sure you watch the video right beside me here and ask the right questions when buying a car, because that's going to be crucial. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next video.